Richard, we're live. I don't know.
Hey.
Just decided to go live. Hopefully it's working for everybody. Comment if you can see us and hear us. That's always, I like positive reinforcement. That's Richard Johnson. Look, Richard, I gave you a ticker. I didn't even show you this.
Ooh.
Watch this. Watch this. Look at that. Promo ticker. A Richard Johnson promo ticker.
You and the tickers.
I'm not bad. I love a good ticker. Everybody who's watching this, YouTube, Twitch. I didn't even realize Periscope was still a thing, but it's still a thing, at least for a little while longer.
Periscope is the thing that I use to watch UFC fights and boxing matches, because there's always someone who points the phone at their TV, and if you can get it and not enough people heart it, the bots or whatever don't catch it, and that's how I watch a ton of UFC fights.
So there's like an unspoken agreement. Hey, everybody, be cool.
Yeah, man, be cool. Be cool.
Be cool. Okay. So you see all of the ways that you can support Richard. You've seen Richard everywhere. You've heard Richard. You've read Richard. If you're watching this, you now know even more, because there's all those things in one place. And I think his pinned tweet tells you where you can click on things to follow Richard. I've known Richard for quite some time. And this is the first year in a long time we didn't watch college football together. We're the real victims here.
Yeah, man. What the heck?
So
what the heck?
Yeah, it's not cool.
This is the first time we've watched a college football game together.
It is. It totally is. And it feels like the tiniest sliver of normalcy. And I'm grateful for it. Holidays good? Everything good in your life, that as well as it can be?
Yeah, man. It's been a hell of a year.
Yeah.
Everybody knows 2020. Hopefully we get better in 2021. Yeah, man. But the holidays were different this year. I wasn't home for the first time for Christmas for the first time this year. But I was around some people that I love, and that mean a lot to me. So you made the best of a bad situation. That
counts. That is something. Check this out, though. This is what I'm going to do for you. You thought the what's it called was something, because we're going to watch Florida and Oklahoma as soon as it starts, at least for a little while. But I have something for you if I can figure it out. Okay, there's that. And then I'm going to share it here if I can figure it out. Right now it's not working, but I'm going to try to get it working. Man, I used to be good at this stuff. Let's see if I can try it one more time. I'm sharing my screen. Application window. All right, maybe I'll figure it out later. I don't know. I had a picture of food that we were texting about. So Florida's missing everybody.
Buddy, Florida's missing everybody. Somebody texted me, what the hell is today? It's the Christmas nether, the post-Christmas nether region. Today's Wednesday, right?
That sounds right. I don't know.
Somebody texted me on Monday, like, hey, it's about to come down the pipe. Somebody was like, it is about to come down the pipe. And I went on redacted wagering website and saw that Oklahoma had moved from Oklahoma was a 3-point favorite, and they moved. And
it's about what, a touchdown? 7.5?
Yeah, Oklahoma is now a touchdown and a half favorite.
Okay.
But with the time I looked, I remember when the line opened, it was +3. Oklahoma was +3.
Uh-huh.
When I looked on Monday, Oklahoma was already +1. It was already moving on the way down. And I was whoa, buddy, this is about to get bad. So depending on where you went and depending on where you got it at, there may have been 10 points or more of line swinging because of all the people that are out. Florida has 4 receivers out, 2 DBs.
Couple linebackers.
Linebacker, yeah. You want to talk about a mash unit. You're going to see some of the pups today.
I saw somebody say Florida's treating this as like a spring game of sorts. Florida's going to work in some rotational guys. Maybe Dan Mullen will be behind Kyle Trask on the field, watching and calling this game, giving him some notes between throws. Yeah, this is totally lose-lose for Oklahoma. You lose to this Florida team, you're like, ooh, I don't know. You beat this Florida team, you're like, so?
Look, I am excited to watch Spencer Rattler. I'm very excited to watch Spencer Rattler, particularly given Florida's secondary. I'm very excited to watch Spencer Rattler as a pure football fan.
I saw Spencer Rattler led the nation in dropped passes in the end zone.
That's the reason they lost to Iowa State.
Yeah, there were 2 balls there where you just watch, you're like,
it was absolutely brutal.
Big Spencer's holding up his end of the bargain, everybody. This is a team without CeeDee Lamb and without Hollywood Brown and without D.D. Westbrook. Like, I know Marvin Mims he really showed out at times, but I'm standing by the fact that Oklahoma's in a New Year's Six game. They don't fully have dudes. They got beat up in the offseason at receiver. So this is impressive all the same. But that was a rough watch for Oklahoma.
And look, Oklahoma's defense has come along.
Sure.
Towards the end of the season, it's pretty good.
Yep.
So yeah, it sort of stinks that it doesn't stink that the players that opted out. I'm glad the Kyle Pitts and Kadarius Toney opted out. I think their bodies need to be optimum position to run really fast in February so that they can make the most money possible. But selfishly, as a football fan, you want to see these two teams at full strength going after each other. It would have been really fun.
Yeah. I'm going to show you one of the most beautiful things you experienced this offseason. It's, you know what? It might not be safe for work. It might not be safe for work.
Talk to me.
Check this out.
Oh, my God.
Look at the screen. What are you looking at?
Oh, my God. I'm looking at birria tacos.
Yeah.
They are a staple of it's Tijuana cuisine, Mexican cuisine.
It's all over in Mexico, but yeah.
Those were so good.
Birria in Brooklyn and Queens. I went there last year before I moved away from Brooklyn, and you texted me that these were like maybe the best tacos you've had in America.
Yes.
And I didn't have a case against that.
I went to Mexico last year last summer, and this really and truly is probably the best taco, short of Mexican, in Mexico.
Sure.
These are the best tacos. I mean, they were absolutely stunning.
In Mexico, it's largely goat birria, but here it's largely beef in the States. And when you're dipping tortillas in chili, pepper, tomato infused beef fat stew, you're doing pretty well for yourself.
I mean, it just is the right way to do it.
Yeah.
It's meat on meat on meat. It's the right way to do it.
It's hard to go back. Okay. We can go back to our normal. The game is not kicked off yet. In the comments, give us, I guess, final scores. Context for Florida, aside from the guys that are gone. This was a really good Florida team with a really strange defense this year, right? Like it was uncharacteristic.
Yeah, it was the weirdest structurally built good football team that it wasn't a Big 12 team, basically.
Right.
Like it was sort of built in that classical Big 12 vein, which obviously has now sort of infected the SEC too. I think that Dan Mullen, this is the end of the McElwain era players that are finally rinsing out of the program. I think Dan Mullen, that coaching staff, particularly on offense, deserves a ton of credit for how they sort of island of misfit toys this deal here. It is really and truly pretty impressive. This offense was made of component parts. It was at its best using its component parts. I think the Georgia game is literally like the grade A Florida offensive performance this season until Kyle Pitts went out in that game, because Kyle Pitts got a little bit of his. Kadarius more or less got shut down, but Florida said, we've got these 3 deep running backs, and we're going to use them in this particular way to structurally attack Georgia's defense.
That was swing pass and wheel route city.
It was an absolute masterclass in that game.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to see.
All right. I just saw a short run for Oklahoma.
I just saw a short run for Oklahoma too.
We should be as synced. Yeah. I think I like Oklahoma here, but I don't know. I don't know what Florida's backup wide receivers are like. Maybe they've got a bunch of just future studs. Who knows?
Against my personal creed, I have Oklahoma +1.
Okay.
And I do have a personal creed to not take either side during a Florida football game at the window. But we've
strange times.
We've eschewed that. Hey, desperate times, et cetera, et cetera. Desperate times, given how I've been at the window this season. It's been a tough year.
We're about a minute behind live, but we're around the same place. Longer Oklahoma run. Oklahoma's at midfield.
Oklahoma is about to just snap the ball. So I think
so I'm a couple seconds ahead of you. Another long run. Oklahoma down to about the 30.
That's gonna be.
I couldn't even tell you like where Oklahoma should pick on Florida because they seem so depleted. But I did like their linebackers this year. Like there's God, I forget it was just, who's the like linebacking captain for Florida?
Miller's the man. But look, this is just GT. This is just GT counter. I mean, this is GT counter. This is staple Oklahoma. This is sort of. I'm not saying Texas A&M ran counter when they ran all over Florida in that game early in the season, but what Texas A&M did in the second half of that game was come out and say, "Look, we're just going to attack the edges of this run defense because we don't think you can stand up on the edges." And so far, 5-6 plays in, that seems like what Oklahoma's getting after too, but a little bit of a different way, skinning the cat a little bit of a different way, getting that beef moving to the side with the counter play. Getting to pulling off its line. Oh boy!
Okay, there it is.
Woo! Okay.
Quick. Wow. I mean, Lincoln Riley with time and scripting a first drive.
Yeah,
it's kind of beautiful.
Yeah, the script that was nice. That honestly, that has actually been part of Oklahoma's problem this year. Is that the script has been really good. And then they get off script, and they've been a little clunky off script.
Yeah, if they get in a rhythm, they can be quite dangerous. I like this. I like, Oklahoma coming off really slow second half. They couldn't finish against Iowa State, so good to see a quick start here. Rattler's gonna be good.
He's
gonna be
like
good.
I sent our buddy Charles McDonald 2 plays, I think 3 plays, from the opening game of the season when they played like Missouri State or whoever the hell it was. It was like their week 1 game. I sent him like 2 or 3 throws, and Charles was like top 3 pick.
Yeah, I mean the arm stuff, like even on the run, like even like he's one of those quarterbacks where you're like, oh, we threw off his back foot, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, the physical tools. I mean, the physical tools are just outlandish that the guy has.
Yeah. Spencer Rattler off his back foot is 124 dudes off, like perfect pocket stepping into their throws in college football. So they'll be very good. Man. Okay. Mullen recruiting. On a good level, on like a must, like the Muschamp recruited defense so well.
Yeah, Muschamp recruited really well. So here's the charitable way to look at it. The charitable way to look at it is that Dan Mullen has always maximized talent on the roster, particularly offensive talent on the roster. That's the charitable way to look at it. The uncharitable way to look at it is to think that you're in the state of Florida at flagship university in the state, and you are. I haven't actually looked at what the signing day rankings are in a couple days, but I think it was like the 4th or 5th in the SEC in recruiting rankings. I got to look at them.
Right, I'll pull it up. Yeah,
that's why people are upset. That's why people are pissed about the recruiting right now, because people want the recruiting at Florida to be at the top level. I think people see Georgia's level of talent, and because that is, I mean,
Florida's top 10. They finished number 10 according to the 24/7 composite. But yeah, that's behind A&M, LSU, Georgia, and Bama.
So that's 5th in the SEC. Yeah, I mean that's just the SEC. And, when you talk about, okay, you're in the East, Georgia has a fairly laughable level of team talent relative. Tennessee's not as far behind as people might think. Now, the on-field product is another story. But if you just want to talk about raw recruiting, you want to talk about pure recruiting. There's some people who are not thrilled with the way things are. But I am more ready to wait and see how Dan may develop the talent that they are getting in. Our buddy Bill Connolly likes to say that program building is about talent acquisition, development, deployment. And you can be, I don't want to say lax, but you don't have to be elite in all 3 if you are elite in 2 of the 3.
Right.
And now that is all sort of that is all sort of making sure everybody's within the blue chip ratio, which Florida is.
Right.
50% of your roster 4- and 5-star recruits, which is what you have to be. A study has shown by our old friend Bud Elliott to win a national championship in today's day and age in college football. It doesn't guarantee it, but to be in the party, that's what you need to have.
So when you watch Florida lose by 6 and trail that entire game, Florida now has the ball. Kyle Trask drops back. Nice little out for a first down. Nice.
That's nice. That is a long.
It's a long throw. And he does not, like, his accuracy and his calm is what Kyle Trask is, but he does not have a cannon.
Yeah, it's the accuracy. It's the ball placement.
Yep.
That ball took a while to get where it was going.
Yeah, that's why we called him Calm Throw Kyle on the show.
But it got to where it was going, and it got there relatively on time.
Yeah. I wonder if you think he'll play the whole game. It's going to be like a weird Tylan Wallace planned play a half, Emory Jones.
Yeah.
Oh, nope, that's not good.
Boy, that is tough.
Speaking of lack of pop in the throw.
Speaking of throws that take a long time to get where they're going.
Yeah.
Hey.
So, like I was asking, where is the 6 points made up against Alabama? I think it was 52-46. Like, what is that additional? Like, where is the cayenne pepper? Where's that additional spice needed?
I mean, you want to say defense, but then again, it's Alabama.
Right.
So I'm trying to watch this replay. Yeah, that throw just took a year and a half to do.
Yeah, that corner sat.
Yeah, where does the 6 point get made up? You know, I literally just an Oklahoma buddy of mine just texted me. Where does that get made up? It gets made up on defense, which is sort of the easy way to say it. But then again, you look at Alabama and you say, it's Alabama. They're going to score 7 or 8 times on offense in a 13 or 14 possession football game.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not much you can do. You know, there's not much you can do to limit that. Florida did, you know, basically what Ole Miss was able to do, which is stick with them. Now, Florida did it a little bit of a different way because Florida doesn't run as much tempo as them.
Mm-hmm.
But they were able to stick with them. They were able to stay with them. Now, no, was there a point in that time, or was there a point in time in that game where you ever sat and said, Florida's going to win this game? Not really.
Right.
I think you sort of perk up at the beginning of the fourth quarter after they get those 2 stops, but not really. So, yes, Florida ends on the scoreboard 6 points worse than Alabama. But that game – that game was not – Florida was not 1 touchdown worse than Alabama.
Right. That was a 10 to 13 point division between the two teams. And that's okay because better than losing 41-17.
Yeah, it is better than losing 41-17. It's better than losing 63-48. Much better than losing 63-3.
Yeah, much better.
I'll take it. I think that when it sort of projects to next year, I'm interested in what Florida's going to look like because the offense is going to look very different. Like right now, this is a pass offense. They don't even try to run. Like Florida is full bore, do what you're good at, which that's smart.
Lean in.
Don't do the thing that you're not good at. You can't really run the ball, so don't really do it. But next year when either Emory Jones or Anthony Richardson, the third string, he's a Gainesville native. I should know his name. That's bad.
I was going to ask if it's not 100% Emory Jones.
No, it's not 110%. There will be something of a battle in camp, whatever camp looks like. Just
right.
Fulton will be the starting quarterback. I like Emory's arm. I want to see the thing for me with Emory Jones is when and how does he dial it back when he's throwing the ball. But then you're bringing him in for packages and a couple plays and mock duty against Arkansas. Like, not really holding that against it.
And if they have a whole offseason, then they shift around the offense a little bit to include throws that he prefers to make and, establish his strengths, which include running the ball. And that's what Dan Mullen's offense looks like when it's at its very best, having that quarterback run threat, which Kyle Trask really isn't, but he has made plays doing.
Yeah, and I think that now when you do the quarterback run game, you are orienting your offense in a different direction. And Florida's going to have to get better on the offensive line run blocking. I mean, there's I'm not, giving you really, mind-blowing analysis.
No, that's been an issue for a couple of years.
That's the deal here.
Huh. Well, let's see Florida do something. I know we're about a minute behind TV, something like that. I mentioned this on the show. I had totally disconnected Florida receiver Trevon Grimes from Ohio State receiver Trevon Grimes. And like totally like the cloud of that entire Urban Meyer, Zach Smith experience. I was like, Florida has a good receiver named Trevon Grimes. Ohio State had a situation with a guy who transferred named Trevon Grimes. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait. And so I guess that career is done with at Florida. But he was nice because that was sort of like Florida would get like stretches of 3 games, not much doing on the ground there. Florida would get like stretches of 3 games from a receiver. And they'd be like, huh, maybe? Like the weird like kombucha meme, huh? No, yes.
Yeah.
And then they would disappear. And even guys who are now playing in the NFL. What's his name on the I think he's on the Chiefs. I'm so bad with NFL guys now.
Mark Robinson?
Yeah. Like flash and then like, did he play the last 3 games? He did? No? Yes. Like there were just so really nice to have, I mean, especially if you're a Florida fan, to have Kyle Pitts in your life.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts is like Kyle Pitts and Kadarius Toney, they are obviously very different athletes, but they are very, very special football players. And I don't think people it's sort of like the LSU thing. Like I don't think you realize how special these players are until they leave. Until they get in the NFL. Honestly, until their replacements play is part of it. But also until they get in the NFL and they start playing well in the NFL. Like Kyle Pitts, if he goes to the right team and he's used sort of like a Travis Kelce, like hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
If Tony goes to like the Saints and is just used as this like gadget guy, like, yeah, man, it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Kadarius Toney, particularly for me, like please do not hear me say you can find Kyle Pitts because Kyle Pitts don't grow on trees.
Right. But you can convince whoever it is in high school that is showing Kyle Pitts-ish ability. Oh, that throw took a long time to get there. You can say you can be Kyle Pitts.
Sure.
You can be Kyle Pitts. That's a recruiting token you now have.
And you can find big-bodied tight ends or hybrid tight end wide receivers or whatever.
Right.
Various Tonys do not.
That's different, yeah.
That guy, the way he moves, the way his body changes directions, it's really unlike anything I've ever seen. I mean, the guy's got rubber joints. It's insane.
And the thing is, like, Florida's one of those schools where if you are that type of all-purpose player, you're always going to get compared to Percy Harvin. Yes. At least, I mean, maybe not in 10 years because you just so removed. But I mean, Percy Harvin was that special for the Gators. And for Kadarius Toney to play and people say, yeah, the comparison sort of checks out. I mean, he doesn't have the high-end speed maybe because Percy Harvin's high-end speed is like, it's comical. But to that shiftiness and that ability to do so many different things, like that's a tough ask to go to Florida and be that kind of player. And I mean, I think he fulfilled it. Yeah,
I think that the overlap with him and Percy will always be the usage, the gadget usage. I think they're very different athletes. I think with Percy had this just bananas straight line speed acceleration and also power. Like Percy Harvin, powerful guy. Kadarius Toney has.
Oh, you're not gonna like what you're about to see.
Good night. That is tough. Okay.
This is why I suggested the first quarter. Because whoever's calling this game in the third quarter might be like, so this guy played Little League Baseball with this guy.
Wow. Okay.
Who was that on? That was that's a tough throw, but
that is a tough throw. I mean, it hits your hand, you gotta catch it.
Yeah, 2 hands on, 2 palms. Yeah, you gotta come down.
What was I saying before? What was I saying?
We were comparing Kadarius Toney to Percy.
So Toney's got some of that balance through contact and power through contact, but it's just different. Toney's about a change of direction, that sort of stuff. So I look forward to him in the NFL. I look forward to seeing what can be done with him in the NFL and who offensively will be creative enough to use him the right way.
Right. No, that's the ask. We saw, there are always going to be guys who show those flashes, those Tavon Austin types. Man, Oklahoma. They're just like, well, I hope he goes to the right place. I hope Jeff Fisher doesn't. I hope.
That is you hope. That is you hope he goes to the right team. Yes.
Right. I feel like Tony that was good enough, and I thought Tony ran with enough power. He broke tackles. He ran through dudes. I think he's got a really bright future. I think the number of now sheer minds in the NFL, and I don't really watch pro football, but between Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan and LaFleur, and there are enough coordinators and there are enough guys who are just like, we need to adapt to the creative ways we can use these talented dudes.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful because those guys are.
The NFL is, I don't know if it's a meme or whatever, but the NFL has never looked more like college football. The games are really and truly starting to converge. There will always be a gap, a talent gap, obviously, but there will always be a gap in what you can do with professional football players versus what you can do with college football players.
Yeah. Also, it's their full-time jobs.
Right. Now, you could argue that this is their full-time job, but that's another conversation for them.
Yeah. Well, there's less, hopefully, in the way of like distraction and restriction.
Yeah. But, when you talk about the NFL, like when all of these mobile quarterbacks are coming up and coming through, you like what a mobile quarterback you like a mobile quarterback's chances in today's NFL because they're going to an NFL that is ready to receive them and use them the right way.
Right.
Like you're not going to an NFL that's going to try to change them, that's going to try to alter them, that's going to try to fit a square peg in a round hole.
Right.
Lamar Jackson, 15 years ago, what happens to him?
Yeah, he's like Antoine Randall. Like he's moved. Yeah.
But he goes to the Ravens. The Ravens get Greg Roman in, and they structure this this brutal run game around the quarterback.
Was he as good this year? I saw some some moaning about the Ravens offense.
Yeah, and this is sort of from the couple of people that I talked to. Apparently, it's kind of a Greg Roman thing in that, like they struggle to counter the counters that defense thrown at them, and that has been a tough thing for them. I do think that they are missing Hayden Hurst. Frankly, I think they're missing some sort of outlet. They also need a receiver. They probably need two. Hollywood Brown's great at one thing, literally one thing, which is go fast. Go.
Same.
Dez is fine, but Dez is old.
Yep.
Bring Dez Bryant off the street. So yeah, the Ravens do need a wide receiver or two to get another gear in that offense. And God love Lamar, but when he is strictly drop back, he's not bad, but
he's not fully Lamar.
He's not fully Lamar.
I just watched I think an Old Navy commercial ended. Now it's a Cheez-It commercial. There was a Chipotle commercial before that. What have you been eating in Brooklyn? You been cooking more? Have you been takeouting more? Yeah,
I've been cooking a little more. A little bit of takeout as well. A lot of it of takeout actually. I've been bad the last, I guess, the sort of the crunch time of the season, like the week leading up to the championship games and sort of the week before that.
What's in your rotation?
I was taking out a lot. Meckelberg's, I'm sure you remember.
Yeah, sandwich shop. Yeah.
Meckelberg's has an insane porchetta sandwich. Like, absolute bananas. Pies and thighs for the fried chicken.
What's your order from Pies and Thighs? Are you getting both pies and thighs?
Just thighs.
Just thighs.
I'm a thigh guy. So we go just thighs there.
But you don't get like a peach pie or an apple pie or anything like that. Okay.
Guy, you know this.
I know. I know you're not a chocolate guy, but I didn't know if you used to live near, or maybe you still do. I don't want to give your address or anything, but Petey's Pies, I thought that pie was great. Location undisclosed, but Petey's pie is really good. Yeah. Petey's pie is really good. So that's why I ask. That place is so Pies and Thighs. But I will say this about Petey's. Petey's has a breakfast biscuit that they make, which is just sausage and pepper jelly. Son. Ooh. That gets the job. I love sweet and spicy. Gets the job done. I've been making the pizzas, and I'm hitting that with the Mike's Hot Honey. Are you pizza stone or? I got a pizza steel. I got a baking steel. Okay. So it's a big piece. I'm trying to just like psych myself up to, if it gets warm here, to buy the actual, like, you can get like these small outdoor ovens that get to like 900 degrees to make real Neapolitan pizza.
Yeah.
But that's a real commitment to the bit. That's a commitment to the cause. I use a baking steel, and so that conducts heat a lot better. So I can get like legit pies in a regular kitchen oven that gets to about 550. You preheat it for an hour, and like I'm fermenting dough for a couple days. I'm going for it.
You're fermenting dough. Goodness.
Yeah. I let it sit for a couple days. I let that yeast do its thing. Eat the flour, the sugars in the flour, and turn it into gas. Come on, we're talking science here.
So baking steel. I almost bought one because there was a point in time when Thanksgiving was going to be at my farm.
Right.
And I wanted to do our mutual fandom, Kenji Lopez.
Oh yeah, J. Kenji Lopez.
Baking steel turkey.
It's so good.
I thought about it, and I literally almost bought a baking steel, but it all went to hell. And
is that a spatchcock situation?
Yeah, spatchcock situation. Spatchcock turkey gets everything done. There was also I think he had a regular full bird way to do it because it cooks it evenly, and you don't have to flip it. You don't have to flip the bird mid cook to get it like cooked evenly. And I think he was doing a dry brine on the recipe that I saw.
We did a Cajun. I just did a breast because I was making sandwiches for like two of us. Like I didn't want to buy a whole bird. But I did a Cajun dry brine with some Tony Chachas.
Ooh. I am buttermilk brine to the hilt.
Okay.
I am purely buttermilk brine. Oh, we have an Emory Jones sighting, don't we?
Okay. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens indeed.
Let's get a spark. He's shorter than I thought he was.
Yeah, he's a little dude.
Where is he from?
Particularly because Kyle Trask is also bigger than you think he is.
That could be, yeah.
Okay. Look at that QB. I think that was Power. It was either Power or Camera.
That was nice. Good vision. But yeah, he's lean.
Yeah, he's
because I'm used to these Mullen quarterbacks between Felipe Franks and Dak and Tebow way back, and now Kyle Trask. And Kyle Trask he's solid. And so
Kyle Trask is tall as shit. He's like 6'5".
Yeah. Oh, under center. Okay. What do you have? Fullback, under center. Dan Mullen offense. Not much doing.
Emory Jones under center is plot twist.
Decision. All right, so you are doing split zone duo.
Shit, what am I not doing?
With Alex Kirshner,
yes.
The immortal Alex Kirshner. You are doing the SEC Network show Thinking Out Loud.
We are done for the season. But
you're done for the season. Yeah, I guess the SEC regular season has concluded.
How about that, bro? Eh?
Okay, let's see. You're a couple. Hey.
Okay.
Nice
we are doing. We are done for the season. After the SEC championship game was our last show. That was a lot of fun. Spencer Hall, Alyssa Lang, Brandon Boykin. That I dearly enjoyed doing that show. That was a great creative project. Also on the SEC Network, so I got a lot of, just personally for me, it was a lot of good exposure, honestly.
Yeah.
Also was able to pay rent due to it, so that was nice. But yeah, that's done. I had a freelance series with the Washington Post that is now done. It's funny because sort of my commitments are sort of falling off. Like, when you sort of get to the end of the season and you sort of look around and you're like, wow, I have way too much time on my hands.
Yep. That's why I'm making pizzas.
Yeah. Like, that's about to start happening with me. I had picked up some NFL commitments. I do an NFL gambling show with our buddy Alex Kirshner. And I also do an NFL show with Yahoo Canada. Those were two things that, funny enough, I picked up because earlier in the summer, when it was like the bottom of everybody's optimism for college football, like in July, when you were talking to people in college sports, like administrative coaches, what didn't matter, agents, people were like, I don't know if this is happening. Like, nobody really thought this was happening.
Right.
So in that time, I had a couple NFL commitments come across my desk, and I said to myself, probably a good idea because of what we know about the NFL. And come hell or high water, the NFL will finish its season, as we know. And so I picked up some NFL commitments. And so when college came back, we had a full dance card. I told people I'll sleep in January, and that is ringing true.
So you paid rent.
Yes.
You wrote about 2 different sports.
Yes.
You stayed in Brooklyn for the most part. You made your way out a little bit to the Northeast within driving distance. And you just kept getting more and more jobs.
Yeah, man. More and more jobs in a global pandemic is not a bad thing. Nothing to sneeze at.
I don't even know. I've lost track of all things Vox Media, good or bad. I know my brother's still employed, and he's one of like 8 people still there. So a success story, a layoff success, or not a layoff, a buyout success story.
A buyout success story. Yeah, voluntary buyout. I like, everybody, because of what happened there. You sort of get you got laid off, or you get lumped into those sort of media stories. Like, no, don't get it twisted. I voluntarily ended my employment at Vox Media. Don't get that twisted. I'll correct everybody on that one. Don't get that one twisted. But yeah, there are still great people there doing great work. I know that our friends at Secret Base just went over 1 million.
I saw that.
Views
I guess we played our tiny role.
Oh boy! All right,
here we go. Kyle Trask, make a throw. Nope, that's not the right guy to throw.
Great. Yeah. See, our friends at Secret Base went over 1 million subscribers. And I cannot explain how happy I am for all of them. Like, I remember when they crossed 500,000 subscribers, and I remember sort of being with everybody and sort of toasting in the office to that achievement and what happened, what happened to them and how they sort of just redid the whole ship within the last sort of year and a half to 2 years, and have made something really successful and really creative.
They built the whole plane.
They really did.
Seth Rosenthal, Will Bukema, and John Boyce, and Alex Rubenstein, and Kareem, and
Buddy Joe Ali. Buddy Joe Ali is back.
Joe Ali returned. The legend.
The homies. Ryan Simmons, Claire,
Big Mac,
Kofi.
It's a good crew. Oh man, I don't know how much I can watch Kyle Trask do his best Sam Hartman impression.
I don't know how much Kyle Trask is going to be in this game if this keeps going like this.
If Kyle Trask can throw 3 interceptions in the opening quarter, he might have lost a little bit of money in the NFL draft. He might have lost 150 grand. I don't know. I mean, this isn't Bama. I mean, again, he's not throwing to his normal dudes. Timing's off. It has to be.
Yeah, he's not normal. I was on the phone with somebody yesterday, and I was like, I'm not sure what he's going to look like without his 2 dudes. And literally, somebody just texted me. Was like, I think we know what he looks like without his 2 dudes.
I think we do.
Oh boy.
Let me load up the comments here, see what people are saying, because it's commercial. And we got people. Kyle not getting the Heisman. Yeah, I don't think that was ever going to happen. Can't wait to hear Mullen's excuses. They should leave that 11 guy on the bench. Jeebus, Florida. We got Oklahoma fans saying you should keep streaming because this is what happens when you stream Oklahoma games. We're all in. And people enjoy this stream to watching the game and hearing Boomer Sooner, or the audio from this and hearing Boomer Sooner over and over and over again. We got people comparing Kadarius Toney to DeAnthony Thomas, which DeAnthony Thomas I think was more slight than Kadarius Toney. Yeah. I think Kadarius Toney is built a little bit more solidly. But yeah, I get it. I get that shiftiness. Man, let's put your what's it called up down there again? There it is. Split Zone Duo. How often are you doing Split Zone Duo? Where can people find Split Zone Duo?
Split Zone Duo, wherever podcasts are sold.
I like that.
We are going to be once a week through the off season. We just basically stopped doing our twice a week sort of preview recap cadence.
Mm-hmm.
We are finding out what the show is going to be during the off season. I think 3 of us have we are very sort of interested in sort of using the podcast as a sandbox to be creative. Like I'm very interested in sort of pursuing draft things and doing that sort of stuff. Those are the sort of things that sort of interest me and getting really, really nitty gritty into some scheme stuff. I want to do those sort of things just because, you have more time to do stuff in the off season. Season, as you know, we started things at the end of August.
Not a visual medium. I'll tell you that right now.
It is a visual medium.
It can be.
We started things up in August, and it's just such a sprint. It's such a sprint to get through the season. And now that you're through the season, now that you can try to do different things and try different formats and show length and episodic and maybe you do a season of these types of, these 4 shows as a package or whatever. That is something that creatively I am very energized to sort of get after, particularly as all of these other things sort of come off my plate and I can put more time in the podcast and that kind of stuff. That is going to be a lot of fun for us, and we have great partners with IMG Plug, who we're excited to grow with and see where this show can go.
Yeah, and the thing is about digital sports media, endless money. Have I told you my plan for if I just one day wake up and say, I just want to make money, I'm done with podcasting and digital audio and digital video. If I just want to make money, I've said this for a long time. I told Ty, I explained my entire situation to Ty a couple days ago. I'm just going to rent chairs for events.
Yeah.
You buy a bunch of chairs once and you rent them out all the time.
Okay. All right.
You buy a truck or two. People get married every weekend. There's bar mitzvahs every weekend.
Yeah.
There's there's graduations. Chairs. Yeah. Everybody needs to sit down. That's my plan. You're not going to love what you do, but you're going to make money.
I was going to say, and at the end of the day, hey, there's something to be said for having your weekends.
It's true. I mean, I think you have to work on you're renting a lot of chairs on weekends.
True.
And bar mitzvahs are on Saturdays. But there is something to be said for just being free of all of this nonsense. You know what happens too? You'll get here one day because you are still unmarried, though. I assume still in a terrific relationship.
Yes,
I met your better half, and she's fantastic. Way too good for you. What happens though when you get married is you meet with like wedding planners, and they're like, "Okay, let's see what Oklahoma does here." Okay, Florida, just build on it, get more.
Is there matriculating ball outfield?
Yeah. What happens is you're like, well, we have a couple different chair options, or 3 different chair options, and the low one is like used. What do we have?
Fumble? What are we calling that?
I look like a fumble. That was for sure a fumble.
What are we calling that?
There's no way his hand was moving forward, no matter what 52 is saying.
I don't know. All right, let's get a replay here.
I would be so good at not recovering fumbles, but being somebody near the fumble.
Oh, that's a fumble, baby.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm watching the replay now. Yup.
Yeah.
Not even a little chance. Nice. Okay. That seems like a necessary thing that Florida could use. What would my chair company be named? DJ Hokey asks. Oh, that's good. I did think about this. Something like rear view, something like punny with a butt, something. Yeah. Rear Admiral. The Rear Admiral Chair Company.
Captain's Chair Company.
I will not be giving up the podcast day job unless I got to tell you, if the chair market is robust in 2021 and moving forward, I don't know.
Do you know how many weddings? Like, I know a lot of people pressed on with weddings this year for better or for worse. You know how many weddings got delayed to 2021? I haven't. I was
be doing 2 a day every weekend.
I was supposed to be going to 2 weddings this year. They have been postponed to next year. That's at least 2 on the dance card. You got people quarantining together. You don't know how that's going to end up as far as potentially giving us some more marriages next year. Yeah. Who knows?
Or second marriages if the quarantine didn't go well.
That's fair. Is this product placement because we're drinking water out of a Gatorade bottle?
Yes, because there is a clear Gatorade, I think. Maybe
No,
there
what
is.
it is it's Florida Gatorade. Come on,
Yeah, that's fine.
not enough of this on the sideline, apparently.
Yeah, you won't see Richard pulling a hammy. He's hydrated.
Tell you what,
Another first down.
what I need to be hydrated for is tomorrow night.
Dan's floor plan. Not bad, Hoke. Not bad. You don't need a lot of overhead. You get a bunch of chairs. You get somebody to manage a tiny warehouse space. Yeah, that's the thing. Somebody is talking about you get suckered in. You're like, you want your guests to be uncomfortable? And you're like, well, I want to have a comfortable wedding. And then you find yourself paying $5 a chair.
How many when you're at an event and it's time to close it down or shut it down, and you're trying to be helpful? How many chairs can you grab to your
Great question. So like I'm scooping in a folding chair with my arm. I don't know, 5 or 6, 7, somewhere in there.
Oh, you can get 8. Come on now. Come on
I
now.
don't know. My wingspan is not my most impressive asset. Oh,
you're a hooper.
That's true. I was at least. Oh,
yeah,
man.
That's one. Yeah, pick up basketball. When's the next time we're playing pickup basketball?
I remember. So I was in a league with Seth Rosenthal, indoor league. It was like through Zog Sports in Brooklyn. We probably played a little bit too late, considering where the virus was. I think our last game was like March 13th. Like I think Tom Hanks got COVID like the 11th.
Jeez.
I think we had a game the 13th. I have not heard that was a super spreader event. I have not gotten COVID. I don't believe Seth has, but the trains were pretty empty going to Park Slope that night. I remember that.
Yeah, I actually got tested today. Negative.
Oh, nice. Nice negative?
Nice negative.
Nice.
So the place that I go, or the place that I went to today, like they call you. It's not an email. They call you, and it's a real person on the other end. That's like, yeah, confirm your birthday, da 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 da. And then they tell you the result. And there's a bit of a drum roll.
Yeah, I would figure that if you're getting a personal call that you're positive, but I guess not. Because when I got tested, we're talking July. It was like a voicemail robotic. You tested negative. Yeah. What's the difference between Florida and Texas right now? Math 4 wants to know. Better quarterback.
One of them develops talent to go to the NFL, and the other one doesn't.
Yeah. I don't know. Florida is in a New Year's 6 game. Texas was relatively recently and beat Georgia. Yeah, I think Florida's maximizing its talent in a way that Texas does not do consistently. Like Florida's playing down a lot. I'm
kind of trolling, but I'm also kind of serious. But the other thing is, Texas has lost 4 games a year for the last decade. For the last decade. I know Florida 4-8 wasn't great, but Florida at least had 2012, and the last 2 years have also been perfectly fine. They may get out of this with 4 losses, this season with 4 losses, but obviously you saw the heights that they were at one point before.
But it's it always it feels longer and longer ago, right? Does it? Like you think about USC and Miami and Texas, and recruits are 16. Yeah. Recruits were born the last time these teams were nationally dominant for years upon years.
Recruits don't really know who Tim Tebow is. Tim Tebow?
No, they don't know who Matt Leinart is. They don't know who Tim Tebow is. Any lefty who didn't work out in the NFL.
They don't know who Tim Tebow is. Are you kidding me?
I agree. And so there's just like this weird element of like, we should be good. And I just wonder why. Why should you be good? Like Florida's a better place. Like
there's a lot at Texas. There's a lot about Texas that plays why Texas isn't very good. Now, first of all, the reason why Texas is relentlessly marketed by Texans. And the marketing is that we are Texas. And that's full stop, enough said, all they have to say. And then that's why Texas can, air quotes, court Urban Meyer. Oh boy. Okay,
what are we about to see? Oh, what an arm. Oh my God. That is you can't miss that.
That is a cannon. Sorry. And so Texas markets itself as Texas. It is relentless. It is in your face. It is
Right.
all these things. And that's why Texas can air quotes go at Urban Meyer or court Urban Meyer or whatever.
Right.
But what happened, the last time was Texas got itself painted in a corner, frankly, about a month ago. It's Urban Meyer wasn't coming, in my opinion, and from the people that I've spoken to, Urban Meyer was going to be the next head coach at Texas. But because that got so out of hand, you paint yourself in a corner where, okay, you whiff, at least in the public domain, you whiff on Urban Meyer.
Mm-hmm.
Who else are you going to go get? Who else are you going to go get? Meanwhile, Tom Herman is still your coach. So, there's a longer story about it, and we talked about it on one of our podcasts a couple weeks ago about why Texas is in this spot. But there are way too many cooks in the kitchen.
Right, like if you look at those three, I think I tweeted about this a few weeks ago. Like if you look at the three schools that should be better, quote unquote, because I'd like to know why. The schools that should be better that are in cities that had big national success, Miami, Texas, USC. The reason that they're not great has nothing to do with anybody but themselves.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, yes, Clemson got really good. Miami can recruit and build classes comparable to Clemson and beat Clemson back and forth.
Meanwhile, Florida State sucks. And Florida was down for a decent amount of time. Granted, that was sort of when Florida State was on the up and beating Miami every year.
Oklahoma's really good, but they're on a losing streak to Kansas State. They're not, impossible. And look at the Pac-12. Yeah. Pac-12 was like outside of, it's like Oregon, kind of Washington. The Pac-12 South is like, Utah's tough every year, but like.
Out of the three, USC is the most egregious. I think that Texas is, a more obvious bet for a lot of people. But to me, I think USC is the most egregious. Why are you not better?
Can you listen to my theory for 1 second?
No, please.
Okay. Can you indulge my?
There was a tweet on the Solid Verbal account about this a couple of weeks ago. I think I know where this is going. But
this is. I don't think this is what I'm going with, but maybe it is. I don't know. I think schools in these big cities, I think it's more difficult, especially if you recruit kids from the area. Now, Texas is, a large state, but like Southern California kids going to USC, you're not going away to college, right? You're just going to like a bigger high school. You know everybody on the team. You've known them since high school. You've played 7-on against them. Like you look at the schools that are like building these superpowers, like Ohio State. Like, yes, there's great football in Ohio and in high school in Ohio, but they're pulling from everywhere now. They're recruiting Texas and Florida. You go away to Ohio State. You go away to Clemson. You go away to Alabama. You go away. I mean, I know Atlanta and Metro Atlanta has a ton of talent that Georgia is able to pull in, but they're still recruiting in different places. They pulled a tight end from California this year. I think you need to go away to be.
Dropped it.
Okay, what do we have? Another drop? God, that just thing flies.
Yeah, man. He's got arm talent that is different. He's got arm talent that is different.
I think playing major college football in a big city is a different kind of challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
You go away to Wisconsin, I guess. Maybe not. I don't know. But that's not a big city in the way that those other three are.
Yeah.
You were to Austin. Have you spent time in Austin, Texas?
I have. I went to a wedding in Austin, Texas last year.
It's amazing.
I enjoyed Austin.
I get nothing done.
I had to sidestep a lot of bachelorette parties. The most bachelorette parties I've had to sidestep, save New Orleans or Nashville.
Is SC in a tougher spot with population shifts? I guess because people are leaving California. Maybe. I know the talent in Arizona and Nevada has increased.
But this is the thing where I'm like, look, SC. So everybody says you should go to Arizona and be able to recruit immediately Phoenix. Right. Spencer Rattler is from Phoenix.
Yeah.
Now, this is the thing with the Arizona schools. Kids that grow up in Arizona are not loyal to Arizona or Arizona State.
Right.
They're just not.
There's no pressure in the way that there is if you grow up in Georgia to be
right. And so you get a situation where Texas comes west, where Oklahoma comes west, where Oklahoma State comes west.
And the number one player in Arizona, I believe, is going he's a 5-star borderline quarterback. Is going to Oregon.
And USC should be able to go east and get who they want, because there was a time, and I'm not even talking about 2 decades ago.
Yeah.
There was a time in the not too distant past, and our buddy Bud Elliott will regale anybody with this, where if you grew up west of the Rocky Mountains and USC wanted you to come to USC, you went to USC. Now, there's a little bit of Oregon in there that sort of muddied that up, but that still should hold relatively true for USC.
Well, and think about the 2 things at play there. I was actually talking to somebody at the Pac-12. No, it was Yogi Roth talking about it. Like, what Oregon's doing right now with recruiting is they're going into the entirety of the West Coast footprint. They're taking Arizona's best 3 players. They're taking Colorado's best player. They're taking Utah's 3 best players. You know, they're grabbing a kid or 2 from Washington, from Northern California, Southern California. So they're not just getting kids to go away to school and to go to Oregon. They're kneecapping their rivals. And that's what SC did. So what SC did, like Taylor Mays is from Washington. He's from Seattle. Like Chris O'Dowd was from Arizona. Lendale White, Colorado. Like they were going and taking away the kids that these schools needed to keep home and bringing them to LA. And I think Southern California, I think the talent's a little bit overrated. I think they're really good kids there, but I think it gets puffed up a little bit. And so SC might be star hunting a little bit too much. SC should be better for sure, but they're not going to those places. The brand is so much weaker than it used to be. If you go other states, complete that pass, Kyle Trask. Oh,
yeah.
Drop. But he's throwing to the 2s.
He's throwing to the 3s. He's throwing a couple 3s and Justin Shorter.
Did Shorter come on recently against somebody?
Yeah, he played well against LSU. I want to say he had a touchdown against like Georgia, but I could be making that up. Yeah, but he has come on sort of late in the season. He's just sort of buried on the depth chart,
right?
Behind Grimes, and like you're at best the 3rd receiving threat. I know Pitt's missed a couple games, so you're at best the 3rd receiving threat. And when if Florida's doing some of the wheel routes, some of the throw out of the backfield stuff, it could be the 4th receiving threat on a lot of plays. So stepped up today's wide receiver 1. We'll see how it goes.
All right. Come on, Kyle Trask. Engineer.
It's decent ball placement there. Zipper, that's one of the sort of hybrid tight ends that's up next.
Okay.
And you see how he was lined up there, similar to how Pitts would be lined up, which is a 3-by-1 set, 3 receivers, one side, tight end, send it up the backside.
Is he a big dude?
Not he's not as big as Pitts.
That's how Pitts. Okay. Man, who's calling this game? I think Joe Tess, right?
Yes, Joe Tess and Dusty Dvorak. I don't know, my TV's on mute, but I do see Joe Tess.
Another nice throw. Finding a rhythm. There's a good amount of people there. Have you been to Jerry World?
Yes, I have. It's nice.
It's
it's probably been a little superseded, maybe. Like Atlanta Stadium is beautiful.
Yeah.
I was actually there for a basketball game. I was there for the Final Four a few years ago. But when we played, I was covering it, and so I got a tour of the place, and I got to sort of go through the place. There's a lot of like modern art pieces in the stadium and stuff like that.
Ford trucks.
Yeah, but
elevated.
I mean, Jerry built this to be a palace, and this has become sort of the preeminent football event destination. So it's big as hell. I will say that it's big as hell.
Yeah, my thought was I was at the Oregon Ohio State National Championship there, and it felt like, okay, this is a space station.
Yeah,
like we're all leaving Earth, and we're moving on to a new home in the solar system.
And
this is our vehicle to get there.
Spend so much time looking up at that thing. Yeah, I mean, it's stunning. Wow, somebody is getting after it outside my apartment. Can you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I figured that was your ringtone or something.
Yeah. All 3 receivers did not know that play was.
Oh, okay. And it didn't matter.
Didn't matter.
Third and short. Ooh. Come on, Florida. Score some points. I assume Todd Grantham is hanging around.
We'll see.
He said slyly. We'll see.
Look at Emery.
Okay. Do you have a New York restaurant that you will go to as soon as it feels and is deemed safe to eat in a normal, quote unquote, normal way?
The one that always comes to my head is Uncle Boone's, which is a Thai place in Lower East Side.
Done.
But they have a sister restaurant.
Is that still open? The noodle place?
And was open in April.
Mm-hmm.
As of April. Don't know if it's still open. Uncle Boone's, probably the first place I'm going. Second place I'm going is random Flushing food court for Chinese food, dumplings.
Nice.
Those are two places that I'm absolutely going to.
But the Uncle Boone's place is like a diner. It's not Uncle Boone's. Like they do it's like a Thai fusion diner type thing.
No, it's not actually Uncle Boone's, but I do think they serve some of Uncle Boone's food.
Okay, that's good.
I do think they serve some of the Uncle Boone's food
there. Emery Jones was hit hard, throws it up. Been nothing.
Emery's got a live arm now.
Okay.
Those are places I'm definitely going as soon as this thing lifts. I can't.
I was there with you and who? Andy? Is that who we went with?
Yeah, Andy Staples.
Yeah. Go Gators. What a meal.
God, that place is so good.
You got some activity outside of your window right now.
Dude, every day outside of my home. I live sort of near-ish to a police precinct too.
Okay.
So that's when we really get rolling. When the cop cars, I live sort of at the bottom of a one-way street, and at the top of the one-way street is a police precinct. So when they roll out of there, they literally are coming by my apartment. So it's sirens. It's a lot of sirens.
How are your windows?
Yeah, bad. Single pane. But my apartment situation is better than it should be, so it's one of those things where it's like, don't rock the boat.
Yeah.
Use a blanket. Get a space here.
What mic do you use for Split Zone Duo?
I use the one everybody does, the Oyster.
The Yeti?
Yeah, the Yeti, whatever.
We gotta upgrade you.
Wait, hey, I didn't buy it.
That's okay.
I didn't buy it. I will say.
Price.
Yeah, I do need a fancy one. The thing is, my other bedroom that I turned into an office because my roommate moved out during the pandemic is really echoey. It's really echoey.
Yeah, you got to soften it up. That's the big thing.
Yeah, I need those. You got those like egg foam crates?
Yeah, I've got some foam, but it's just like you see behind me. Like I've got, if you put like bookcases, like you don't have to buy the treatment stuff. You just need stuff in there. I have moving blankets from when we moved hanging on a door right there. Like you just need soft things in a number. Like I have a shoe rack right there, so sound's not bouncing off of that wall. You just need stuff in there. That's all it is.
Yeah. The other thing is that room is on the street, faces the street. So, buddy, you get some sounds of the city during the podcast episodes. I try to mute judiciously, but sometimes you can't help it.
I like it. Add some flavor. Add some texture. What did I miss? What did they go into the commercial doing?
I honestly don't. Oh, the Oklahoma call time.
Oh, okay. I just want Florida to score.
Same.
I want a game. Is this an AT&T commercial? Was that the AT&T lady with LeBron? What is this?
Yeah, that's an AT&T commercial.
Okay.
AT&T is not a Cotton Bowl sponsor, but a sponsor of the stadium. So
the sponsor of the stadium. Like I think that they're a friend of the game. Yeah. I haven't eaten dinner. Have you eaten dinner tonight?
Yes, I did eat dinner. I had a seafood stew that I cannot pronounce from a place I cannot pronounce, so I will not try.
Was it Chiappino?
It
was an Italian tomato broth based seafood soup.
Yes.
Chiappino, yeah.
It had like squid and mussels. It was good, very good.
Nice.
And shrimp.
Love Chiappino.
Also had what was the other thing? My lovely significant other had a pappardelle with this sort of like white sauce on it and wild mushrooms. Very good.
Eating well. I have no idea what I'm going to eat. Can't go out in the snow. We've got a good amount of food here. I say can't go out in the snow because I am soft.
No, I am charming soft. I hate this.
All right, we'll go until the end of the Florida drive. I only asked you to do a quarter. You're giving me overtime.
I love you, Dan.
I know. And I do. Anybody else nodding along like Dan and Richard can see them. LOL. You know what, Boat Drinks? I feel you're nodding. I feel you're nodding. Any Globe tomatoes in that dish? Ty's pronunciation way back when of globe tomatoes. Globe. Ooh. Ooh. Have you seen any of your old Vox friends like out and about at all? Outside social, like have you seen Joe or Seth or any of those?
I have seen Joe socially distance.
Okay.
I have seen Joe socially distance. But it's like everybody's in a lot of different places. Like, plenty of people sort of went home for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I look forward to getting back to a normal world so I can just like reconnect with. Like I was talking to my girlfriend earlier, like how jarring it's going to be to sit in a full restaurant, not just with a couple tables. I'm talking full ass restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be jarring, man. Going to a football game next fall.
Going to a concert.
That is weird. He's in the end zone. Touchdown. Oh goodness, Emery.
All right, I'm watching now. Gotta be better than that. Yeah, just going to anywhere that's like relatively tightly packed. At least football games for the most part are outside, and I didn't really like going to games anyway. But that was just for driving and traffic parking reasons.
When you see highlights of like last season, is it not really weird to see them in full crowds?
I'll watch a video on YouTube of like, I don't know, a musician, and there's like other musicians in there, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then it's like from 3 years ago. I'm like, oh, a different time.
A simpler time.
2017. Yes. Oh, touchdown. Okay, good. Good job, Emory Jones.
Ooh. You okay?
I have no idea where I'm going to eat. I don't know Chicago restaurants that well.
Okay. What is before we get out of here? What is the deep dish take? What is the deep dish takeaway?
Oh, I don't really like deep dish. There's like what I consider to be regular pizza here. Like pizza that we would get at places in Brooklyn. There's not like New York style pizza. There's like Pauly G's here. There's a Pauly G's in Chicago. So I can get pizza like that. And there's a place that's pretty comparable in the burbs. So deep dish, I don't have an actual problem with deep dish because like the thickness and greasiness of it, it's fine. I don't like the crust. It's a very buttery, cornmealy. The chop is suggesting Pequods, and I've heard really good things. I got to get Pequods. That's closer to like, it's like a more of a pan pizza than a deep dish. I know deep dish are made in pans, but like closer to Detroit caramelized crust type thing. I don't like that buttery crust. It's like, it feels like a pastry enclosed in a pizza.
I've never had it. So, and I was telling significant other, the first place I'm going to go, hopefully, if we get our act together here by the summer, is Chicago. Never been to Chicago. I have you and your lovely family.
Ready for you, yeah.
I have a friend of the program, Adam Amin, to see.
Yep.
I have a couple of friends from college that I need to see in Chicago. I have a friend of the program, Nicole Auerbach. Friend of the program, Matt Brown.
Yeah.
Friend of the program, Michael Felder.
Yeah, he's in Lincoln Park. Yeah. Oh, Felder and I have like become very good digital friends in the same boat, with having a little one and podcasting and cooking, and he's great. Love Felder. We're gonna hang out as soon as we can. Deep dishes for tourists. Chicago food is great. Chicago Mexican food is great. Chicago sandwiches, Middle Eastern food. There's really good options.
I want a hot dog. I want a good, like a fat.
They're pretty good. Chicago hot dogs are pretty good. It's the poppy seed roll and mustard and sport peppers. I don't like the tomato, but I like the pickles. Those are really good. The tavern cut thin crust, John, you're right. Excellent. I just don't want that buttery crust. So the real Chicago pizza is apparently it's like a tavern style. They cut real thin into squares. It's like thin and crispy. Really good.
Ooh.
Really, really good. There's a ton I want to eat in Chicago. I have a list. I have a list that I've made up and a map I've made up. But yes, you need Chicago during the summer.
Yes.
You'll come here and you'll say, why doesn't everybody live here? And then I will have my 17-minute prepared statement as to why that is. Glad you asked.
Yeah.
Here are some pictures of February 4th. But yeah, Chicago summers, like between, like I got married here on Memorial Day weekend. In between then and like October, even like fall's really nice. But the summer's like, people are just outside everywhere. There's giant lake. People are on boats. People are eating outside, going for runs. It's great. So open arms.
Okay.
All right. That's all I have. Thank you for your time. I'm going to put up your ticker again because great people deserve great tickers. So here it is. We're watching Florida, Oklahoma. Listen to Richard on a split zone duo. Watch him on Thinking Out Loud when the season is happening. I hope to see him next year in all of his glory. Follow him on Twitter, follow him on Instagram, wherever you can. Moon Crew. Look up the Moon Crew. Good people. Spencer Hall, Jason Kirk, Alex Kirshner. I like all of these people very much. That's the crew, right? That's the fearsome force.
That's the squad. Fantastic.
Love it. All right. Go Gators. Go Richard Johnson. We'll talk soon.
We'll talk soon, Dan. Always a pleasure. Say hi to the wife and child.
Well, he's asleep like 14 feet from here.